Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erin and welcome back to the channel. How are you doing financially? Are you making progress with your money? Well, to answer that question, we have to have some things to measure. Peter Drucker is quoted as saying, "You can't improve what you don't measure." The goal is that over time, our financial situation is improving. How do you know if you've gone from one place last year to a better place this year? Well, that's where taking the time to take some measurements comes into play. And just what numbers should you be looking at? Well, personally, I think there are 5 of them. Before we dive into the 5, if you could take a moment just to hit the like and the subscribe button, as it really does help out the channel, I greatly appreciate it. Credit score. Having a good credit score matters. It gets you the very best interest rates when it comes to buying a car or buying a home, and it even comes into play with various careers. Your credit score is composed of 5 factors: payment history, amounts owed, length of credit history, new credit, and credit mix, and ranges from 300 to 850. Single-handedly, the very best thing you can do to improve your credit score is to make your payments on time over a long period of time. And because history is such a huge component of your score, the older you get, the higher the credit score you tend to have. Which is kind of ironic because your credit score is probably more important when you're younger rather than when you're older, when you're looking to buy that car or buy that home and lock in those lower interest rates. As you get further along in your career and your financial journey, maybe you get to the point when you need a new car, you can just buy it outright in cash and you don't need to take out an auto loan. Well, at that point, your credit score really wouldn't matter. Or maybe you get to the point where your mortgage is completely paid off and you're happily settled in your home. You're not looking to buy another home. You're not looking to take on new debt. At that point, again, your credit score becomes a little bit obsolete. But these types of things tend to happen later in life, when you're further along in your financial journey. And it is later in life where more people have a better credit score. It's far more useful to have a more impeccable score at a younger age when you're looking to take on this debt. Little fact about paying off your mortgage, a lot of people do note that their credit score takes a dip, but that's because you've lost a debt type. Ideally, you want to work on building up your credit score as soon as you possibly can. And the very easiest way to do that is to get a credit card and then make sure to pay it off in full and on time every single month. Simply by doing that, you can build your credit score into the high 700s, and that will entitle you to the very best interest rates when it comes time for you to buy a car or to buy a home. And getting these lower interest rates can literally save you tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of the life of a loan. Mortgage rates right now are decently high, and qualifying for a 7% interest rate versus an 8% interest rate on the typical American home, which is a little bit over $400,000, would save you $85,000 over the life of the loan. So I tend to think of it like this. During my working years, my credit score is incredibly important. I want to work hard to build it up and then keep it there because there's a chance I will reference it. I may need to buy a home or a new car, and I may need a loan for that. But then as I get closer to retirement, or as I actually get into retirement, I don't think I would be the person who's planning on taking on new debt types. So I think at that point, it really wouldn't matter that much. Net worth matters, and over time, you want to see it trending upwards. It's a really good idea to do an annual net worth statement. And I say annual because this is not a number you want to measure on a day-to-day basis. It's simply prone to fluctuating too much. Let's say you have a significant portion of your net worth in equities, like the stock market. It's not uncommon for the stock market to take a 20 or a 30% drop occasionally, and that would have a significant impact on your net worth. But if you zoom out and take a long-term view, not just look at how your net worth is changing from year to year, but how it's changing over a 5-year period or even a 10-year period, that's where you should be noticing that it's going up. Your net worth statement is so powerful because it allows you to take in your entire financial picture. It allows you to look at your assets and your liabilities, recognize areas for improvements, and see if you're on track to hit your financial goals. And exactly what should your net worth be? Well, the only real way to answer that depends on your personal situation and your goals. There's really no blanket way to answer it. You could use something like Fidelity's multiple of income rule, where you aim to have a certain amount saved at various ages, and this can serve as a good guidepost, and I've done a number of videos on this, and I'll link a couple down below. You could also consider the median household net worth in America based on age. And because median is representative of the typical American, I think it can serve as a good baseline. And as a baseline, I mean you should be aiming to be above this number. Because the odds are, if you're the type to sit around and watch financial videos, you want to be doing better than average. Your savings rate, generally speaking, should be increasing over time. I tend to think of a savings rate like Goldilocks. You don't want to save too little that you risk not hitting your financial goals and end up having to work forever, but you don't want to save so much that you miss out on the joys of today. You want to find that sweet spot. Most of us, when we start working, we start with a starter income, meaning our budget might run a little bit tighter. So our savings rate might be a little bit lower. Maybe we only saved 5% of our income, or it was a set dollar amount. Maybe it was $50 a week, or even $100 a month. And I don't think it matters so much what you start off with as a savings rate, but rather that you're working to increase it over time. And ultimately, I think you want to get to that target of 15 to 25% of your income going towards savings and investments. So anytime you get a pay increase or a bonus, you want to up your savings rate just a little bit to get you in that ballpark. Most people are earning significantly more at the age of 40 than they did at the age of 20. So you want to make sure that your savings rate or the dollar amount that you are saving is higher when your income is higher. And keep in mind that it's totally normal for your savings rate to fluctuate over time. There are periods of life where life is simply more expensive. For instance, maybe you have young kids and you have to pay for daycare, and that's expensive. So during that time, for a few years, maybe your saving rate takes a hit, but when you can, just bring it back up. When it comes to hitting your financial goals, it largely depends on 3 factors: how much you're saving and investing, how long of a runway you are giving yourself for compound interest to work, and the rate of return that you can capture. Now, those first 2 factors are the only ones within your control. You can work to increase your savings rate. You can start early and give your investments a long time horizon, but there's really nothing you can do to influence how the market performs. Yes, you can choose more growth-oriented assets, and those are more likely to have a higher rate of return, but how the stock market performs, that's beyond your control. So I like to dedicate my attention to the areas that I can actually influence, and that is my savings rate and how long I'm willing to leave these investments invested. Discretionary income refers to the remaining funds you have after paying taxes and other necessary expenses such as food and housing. So discretionary income is really the income that matters most. This is the money you get to have fun with. This is the money you get to build life experiences with. And you want your discretionary income to be increasing over time so you can make more choices with the money you make. Maybe that's where you go out to eat, planning a vacation, things like that. And that's why it's so important to keep lifestyle creep in check. Because for so many people, as their income increases, so too do their expenses. They upgrade that vehicle or they upgrade their home. They find that their income has doubled, but so too have their expenses. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with upgrading your life a little bit, but I love the idea of keeping your fixed expenses as low as possible to free up as much of your income as possible. Because like I said, this is the money you get to have fun with, and I would rather use my money to have more experiences in life. But with that said, you still want to be hitting your savings and investing targets while also enjoying the joys of today. So as your income increases over the years, slowly but surely increase your savings rate, keep those fixed expenses low, and then you can also increase the amount that you're spending on just having fun. Your debt to income ratio is the portion of your income each month that goes towards debt repayment. The higher your debt to income ratio, the heavier the debt burden you're carrying. You can also multiply this number by 100 to get the percentage of your income that is going towards debt. And ideally over time, you want to see this number decreasing. If you have any consumer debt, you want to pay that off. You want to pay off your student loans. You want to pay off your auto loan. And if you're a homeowner, slowly but surely, you want to be getting that mortgage paid off. It just frees up more of your income for you to work with. And it's not necessarily imperative that you get completely debt-free. While that is a worthy goal, what's most important is that you keep your debt levels manageable relative to your income. Keeping your debt repayment to 35% of your income means you're carrying a low debt load. Beyond that, and up to 50% of your income is a medium debt load, and debts that exceed 50% of your income are considered a heavy debt load. Now, all of these numbers are best measured in the long run. Credit score, net worth, savings rate, discretionary income, you want these to be slowly but surely increasing over time. Your debt burden, you want that to slowly be decreasing over time. But keep in mind that nothing in life and in finances is perfect. Things will ebb and flow. It does not move in a perfect straight line. But if you're looking at these numbers in totality and in general over the long run, they're moving in the right direction, you're putting yourself in a better financial financial position. Do you track these 5 metrics? Are there any other metrics you track? Leave your answer in a comment down below. I post new videos every single week. If you got anything at all out of this one, please give it a like. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, or if you know of someone who might get something out of this type of content, please consider sharing. I'll see you soon. Bye.